Well, the O'Connor clan has come out in force for the match here tonight. Terence, of course, on the left-hand side. Jared giving us a wave and the thumbs up. And there's Terry's dad as well on the front row. And Terry doesn't look very impressed. Probably that we've caught him yet again off duty with another night off. He's done the build-up. He's done all he has to do. I just wonder where the drinks are. They're probably on the floor, so as we can't see them. Although he is teetotal, will he be eating plenty? Off we go, second half. Difficult kick-off. And well claimed by Castleford Tigers. Brilliant work on the deck by Jordan Thompson.
Well, he's laughing, I think, Nick Youngquist, because I think it was a miss kick, but it's paid off for them, put them straight on the attack.
Yeah, they got the bounce and everything, but I'm not so sure that he came out 100% after it, and there's a problem as well.
There is, someone's got a real problem here, a back injury. Stuart Jones. Something obviously has clicked there, and there's a heavy tackle by 3.
Well, you could see the third man coming right into the rib cage, I feel.
Cahill and Clark.
Is it Paul McShane from this side? It's somebody from this side who... No, it's
Patrick Arvan. Went
yeah, big unit
into the hip. That will have hurt.
It is.
Can you play it up, mate?
Still moving. Nothing wrong with it whatsoever.
But if it had been round the legs, it would have been an illegal challenge. But and by the looks of things, he's up and on his feet and okay. Stuart Jones, by the way, 1 England cap. I bet you couldn't tell me who he played against, Steve Owen. Where? Russia, in Moscow. 98 points to 4, and he scored a try.
I was just about to tell you, but you were too quick for me.
I jumped in. Here's Brett Ferris on the charge.
By the time, you know, the Tigers really have to score. They know that. At 18 points to 4, it's not going to be easy.
Short ball. This is Jake Emmer trying to spin his way to the line. Oh, and plenty of defenders there to prevent him. This is the last tackle. And here is Griffin's pass that went over the head of everybody, including the touch judge, Tim Roby, and into the stands. The chance has gone from Castleford after innovation from the kickoff.
A little bit of pressure, you could see there. He was put under a lot of pressure by Willie Isa. You've got to take your chance, and they realise it, but I suppose in many ways Ian Millwood would say, well, we lost the opportunity to apply maybe the little dink in, the kick into the in-goal area, try to get another set of 6. Something that they failed to do on a regular basis in the first stanza.
Let's go down to the king of the back chat, Rod Studd.
Yeah, thanks, Eddie. Well, as far as Widnes are concerned and Dennis Betts, the key is to finish the job. They started so well in the first half. They've got 40 minutes of the job done. They need to do the next 40 and finish it off for their 4th win of the season. Just as a note on that, a jersey change. Paul McShane is wearing number 33. There he is. Had to change his shirt because of all the blood that got spilt on it in the first period. So McShane wearing 33 with no name on it. Ian Millwood for Castleford saying that, well, they hadn't really respected the ball well enough in that first period, and their kicking game was very inconsistent, but still believes there is some joy in this game for them if they can get those 2 things right.
Well, I agree with you, Rod, but I think that Ian Millwood, he really has got to change a few things. We've already seen that the substitute Danny Orr, we know he's not 100%, but surely bring him out of the dummy half position and let him get back into his usual role of being first receiver and push Ryan McGoldrick a little bit wider.
It might be, Mike, their strategy to try and win the game down the middle of the field, or by attacking around the play of the ball, having Danny Orch have his hands on it, rather than passing it wide where they may not be as strong. They might not be as strong in their opinion. Sometimes teams don't always want to move the ball wide. They think that perhaps Widnes have at times this season been vulnerable in that middle area with some of the bigger men not being quick enough.
They're missing some influential players too, aren't they? The Castleford Tigers. Not least of them the reigning man of steel, Rangi Chase. Internal club discipline problems there, and he's suspended on full pay while the investigation continues for alleged misconduct. But there are people missing for Castleford that could have changed this game more than quite dramatically. Darrell Clark's another, of course. No sign of Ryan Hudson at the moment either. And Joe Arundel, who might well have played his last game for the Castleford Tigers. He's on his way to Hull, isn't he, at the end of the season? Oh, that ball's dropped and hacked backwards. Well, and that was nearly dropped, but he held on to it.
Now then, it's said it's the last, but a lot of the fans here thought perhaps that there was a Castleford touch of that ball. Not to be. Now then, how good is the chase? Yeah, they got the numbers, spread out wide, that's good stuff.
A bit high from Cameron Phelps, perhaps.
He looked it, didn't he? Certainly hit the top of the shoulder. Did he go into the face? No, said Mr. Ganson. Oh, that's squeezed out.
McShane feeds it wide to Arvan. There's space ahead of Arvan, but that's good defending on that far side. Did Arvan stay in the field of play? I think he has done.
Did well, didn't he?
Was right on the mark there. This is Christine now.
They're screaming for the link.
Solid drive in from Winterstein, scored in the first half, looking to score in the second.
Slow defence by the Tigers, they should have moved up quicker.
They're under the pump a bit here, the Castleford Tigers. Here's Davis, he's another try scorer. That's 3 gone, and they're just 4 metres away. McShane will pitch one! Paul McShane with a try. Caught Castleford going backwards and directly from the play the ball. Paul McShane. His 4th appearance, his first try for the Widnes Vikings. He was in the World Club Challenge against Manly in February. How times have changed for him.
James Clare popped up the ball, squeezed it through. It was a good positional play by Patrick Arvan. And the man that Dennis Betts has thrown in off the bench to bring a bit of sparkle, or should I say more sparkle, to the black and whites. Neat little dummy, knew he had the weight, knew he had the strength, no problems whatsoever. They tried their damnedest, but it was awarded by Steve Ganson.
Enjoying the game time he's getting at the Stobart Stadium for the Widnes Vikings. Paul McShane was squeezed out a bit at Leeds, particularly with the arrival of Sean Lunt from Huddersfield. And Patrick Arvan now is unblemished with the boot. He should add to his tally here and the Widnes total as well.
Back on.
Arvan. He adds the extras. He's been perfect. It's 24-4 to the Vikings. They could be climbing their way off the foot of the table tonight.
They could be, Eddie, and they couldn't bring the ball out Castleford without making a mistake, and he's very, very good and smart out of dummy half. He's strong, nuggety. He is difficult to stop. Good addition to the Widnes squad. And perhaps at 24 points to 4, the Castleford heads may now drop. We saw their coach Ian Millward very animated at half-time. I'm not a mind reader or a lip reader, but it looked like he was saying, we can throw this away, boys, or we can get out and have a dig. It looked like they were going to do it at the start. Well, the next few minutes will tell us how much they really want this game.
Only 5 wins so far for the Castleford Tigers this year. Remember, we saw them on the opening weekend in the snow at Salford. They won there, but then they lost their next 7. Looked like they turned the corner over Easter wins against Hull KR and Wakefield, but the hammer blow of the defeat in the Cup to Featherstone and then a series of off-field problems have led them to this particular stage. Their season falls apart.
Well, they're cutting into ribbons now. They really have getting over their advantage line with considerable ease, especially running around that dummy half position by Paul McShane, and that's not the best effort there, but they know that they've got a pretty strong defence.
Grant Millington getting the ball back for the Castleford Tigers. Not the best kick, but he was alert enough. There are 1 or 2 Tigers players on their haunches, just blowing a bit heavily.
Neither of these teams have been good at scoring long-range tries this year. In fact, they rank very low in those regards. But we've seen simply territorially Widnes have had more chances on the Tigers try line, and it's the reason why, in my opinion, the 20 points ahead. Territorially is the difference between these two sides. Not many other factors, but if Widnes continue to have more of the possession and spend so long attacking the Tigers try line, they'll easily win this match.
And that will give them 4 wins for the season, Phil, if they win it. But here comes Danny Orr, finds Stuart Jones. Orr is hounded down by McShane, but gets it away to McGoldrick. Now this is promising for the Tigers. McGoldrick in full flight is impressive, and Youngquist, I'm sure, was pulled out of the way then.
Should have been a penalty. That really should have been a penalty there to the Tigers.
You see him here, it's Davis, pulls him away without getting the ball in his hands.
Not spotted.
No, it wasn't. Here's Stefan Marsh for Widnes.
This is where they're controlling it, Widnes, though. The forwards over that advantage line, they're a lot more aggressive, and they're looking to play the ball a lot quicker than their opposites.
I was going to ask you, Phil, with 4 wins for the season, how many do you think Widnes might manage?
Well, I think they will have set themselves a target of 6 wins. That's what they won the last time they were in Super League, and that's what I think would be a very credible effort. You know, Huddersfield, if you go back to when they came back into Super League, just 4 wins back at the turn of the century. Here's a knock-on. Another Widnes try, perhaps. Oh, he's tried to offload it.
Well, that was panic, really. Could have easily held on to that.
You've got to remember, the Crusaders only won 3 games again 2 years ago when you're in this competition, so Widnes are doing all right, but I think 6 wins will be a target they should aim for.
Well, if they get 6 wins, they'll shut up a few, that's for sure.
It's a penalty here for the Widnes Vikings. Castleford caught offside, and Ben Cross, he hasn't scored for years, and this year he's got 2 in the last 3 matches, Ben Cross. Now it's Hep Cahill, back it comes again. Runners all over the place. That's a great try, a wonderful try from Joe Mellor. Steve O'Connor, the chairman, leading the applause. Dennis Betts joining in with the chairman. I know they're scoring good tries, but I think the most pleasing aspect of this match for the Widnes Vikings will be the 4 that they've conceded. They've tightened the defence considerably over the past couple of weeks. They've conceded so many points this season. The fact they've only got 4 tonight is a blessing for them.
And it was a good run around, wasn't it? And look how deep on the angle they were going. And that attracts out the defence. It was a lot of pressure on Williams, wasn't it? It was Ben Cross that got it away. Good work by Winterstein in the end. But this run around and the way they come on the angle, you can see they've just pulled out wide. And Joe Mellor says they're going to take the dummy, and he goes, yes, 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 I told you so. And he joins in the celebration. Hasn't had many opportunities this season.
Well, you took the words out of my mouth. He hasn't had much to celebrate this year, but looks like he might be celebrating the 4th victory of 2012.
And I think Joe Mellor could go on to be a great, great player. You know, if you look, he's probably about 10 years younger than Brett Finch, who's directing everything for Wigan at the moment. But the halfbacks who have to learn to make so many of the key decisions in a rugby league game take time to learn their trade. It's almost like a doctor. Several years to train before you can actually do it. Patrick Arvan can't convert that kick. But Joe Mellor has pace, he has rugby ability, and given time, will learn from his playing ability.
He certainly will. He'll benefit from this experience, and he'll benefit from opportunities like this. Well, this would have been manna from heaven for a halfback with the pace of Joe Mellor. He had a stretched Castleford defence because of the good work that Widnes had done on the left edge. Well, he was too quick in the end for Ollie Holmes.
Do you express any surprise, Brian, that Sean Wayne hasn't recalled Joe Mellor from this loan spell with the problems he's got with Thomas Luluwai?
That's a good question. I think he's probably pretty comfortable with Sean O'Loughlin and Brett Finch as that combination. It's not uncommon. Sean O'Loughlin has played in that position before, but I'll tell you what he would do. He'd be watching this game very, very satisfied that he's got a young player developing, getting Super League minutes under his belt, and he has him in his employment for the future. It's a good position to be in.
Well, we saw Dennis Betts obviously delighted the way that Joe Mellor threw the dummy, but that came about by the wonderful positioning, attacking positioning, which attracted that Castleford defence out of that line, allowed the half gap, and Mellor took it with glee.
That's a neat run from Williams, trying to make amends for the mistake that led to the last Vikings try. 52 minutes of this match gone, 12 minutes of the second half.
Castleford have to be very, very careful now because there's enough time for Widnes to kick on here. Castleford need to show us that they're determined to not let this scoreboard run away from them. And even if they don't get a win away from home, which they've struggled to do so far this season, they can search for a credible performance.
It was a big hit you just saw there from Ben Cross on the youngster James Clare. Only his second appearance of 2012 for the young Castleford winger. Ben Cross really took him heavily. Here is Willie Iser now.
Well, the one thing that Widnes have got, they've got plenty of strength and weight, haven't they? You know, with Willie Iser and Patrick Arvan on the wings. Well, it was very difficult. The kick and chase was pretty good, but even in the second half, you can see the enthusiasm shown by the Widnes forwards. That's quick thinking.
Oh, and then he's got them for offside here.
You've got to read.
Penalty to Widnes.
You've got to read the game sometimes, and you can see there that they hadn't got back the required 10, and it shows that they are struggling somewhat in the fitness levels. Not surprising with the amount of defending they've had to do.
And so many injuries, Steve-O, as well, for Castleford.
It was always going to be
the bare bones in terms of his team selection.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be a struggle for them, and they had to get off to a good start. Sadly, they didn't.
McShane again. And Mellor, well, it went in front of a couple there, but somehow found its way to Winterstein. Amazing. When you're 28-4 up, those things suddenly tend to come off, don't they? You're 28-4 down on the other end of the scoreline. That ball goes to ground, and an opposition player picks it up. Look at the weather again. July, here we are. July, glorious July. Ben Cross smuggles the ball back to Hanbury. Oh, and an interception and a knock-on by Danny Orr in the end. That's a shame. Danny Orr claiming it was off a Widnes hand. Referee will have none of it. Look at the rain.
Yeah, not much chance of sunburn. And believe you me, I know all about sunburn and having no hair. It's been shocking weather. I keep crossing my fingers, hoping and the sun will shine. It may be.
Lost it
missed
there.
opportunity.
As, Christine Castleford get it back. Can Youngcross work it forward again? They don't make hats where you come from, then, Stevie. To stop the sunburn. I mean. Offside here against Widnes.
I don't need a hat.
Anyone who has a hat that's about 8 7/8, here's your man.
Wow, what about that as a kick?
Not bad, was it?
Penalty is kicked it. It's about a 50-metre gain, isn't
Huge,
it?
massive kick.
Almost a 40-20, isn't it? Better than.
Well, it means they're in a great attacking position now. You'd have to think that they're going to need to score soon, Castleford. Get themselves back into this game. Because it's drifted away from them, Eddie, as this second half has continued.
It has his Hayubi, though. He won't turn it in. There's plenty of time left for Castleford to mount a comeback. Score here, it might just be on. McGoldrick, short ball, gets it away to Emmett. Dave Allen was there, so too was Joe Mellor. Now McGoldrick again, gets a good pass away to Brett Ferris. Solid run from Ferris. He's over the line, he's pushed back by 4 defenders. That's how close he is. Ferris will play the ball. Back it comes to McGoldrick again. Flat pass, and he's escaped the net as Massey can't get the ball on the line, though. Good scrambling defence from Widnes again. Danny Orr looking this way, went without it, Danny.
Ben Cross was offside, though, Eddie.
He's got them offside, yes. It's a penalty to Castleford under the sticks. Here is Youngquest. Now it's Stuart Jones. Stuart Jones going for the line and will score. Stuart Jones. Steve Ganson gives the decision, and Stuart Jones gets the try off the bench. He got a try against Wakefield in the Magic weekend. He was hooker that day. He's come off the bench here tonight, and he has scored the try that just might spark a Tigers revival.
Well, they got the penalty from the offside, and you can see quite clearly there that Ben Cross, well, he was nearly joining the Tigers three-quarter line on that occasion. And good work as well. Determined run. And despite the fact that Widnes are leading by 28 points to, well, it's 8 now, surely they'll get the 10, but you can see it's still a problem for Widnes. Nobody wanting to go for the legs.
A couple of moments ago, Craig Hubie in off the post. Into double figures. 28 points to 10. They have to score 3 times for a draw and convert. They have to score 4 times for a win.
And what does that do in this game, Eddie? Does that spark Widnes to put the foot down and kick on? Or does it give Castleford the slightest glimmer of hope that they might be able to get something out of this game and not have to get on a coach yet again this season and travel home with 0 points beside their name? This next couple of sets will be telling.
Yeah, I'm with you, Brian. You know, Castleford, if they can sneak another try, the confidence will lift. And I keep mentioning it, you know, Dennis Betts won't be so happy with the fact nobody seems to want to go for their legs. Is it because of this pitch? I don't know. It's as though they don't want to go low.
Well, look, they've been pretty good in defence this game so far, and it's taken Castleford now till 57th minute to register their second score.
But they're playing with a bit of confidence here. That's a good ball to Ferris. They're all claiming it's forward. And the referee and touch judge, did they respond to the call from the terrace, or is it forward? Yeah, it's forward.
Yeah, only slightly.
And it was to Steve Snitch.
But it was a very good chorus, wasn't it, by the partisan Widnes fans?
They had to throw the pass, don't they, the Tigers? They can't just complete sets and kick. They've got to take some risks, even though that one perhaps hasn't come off for them. Stop some of the momentum. This is a great test, you know. Coaches talk about game management, so when they get to the end of this set, if they haven't had a penalty or scored a try, what will the 6 or 7, the scrum half or standoff, do for Widnes here to maintain their control on the match?
Well, that responsibility really will drop into the shoulders of Paul McShane, he's had a fine game. He's controlled things. There he is at dummy half.
Davis will drive the ball in again for the Widnes Vikings. That's the third tackle gone, this set of 6. McShane flicks the ball to Cahill. That looked forward as well. It did, definitely.
Did it ever?
Good solid run again. Good ball from McShane. Decent run from Cahill it was. Down to the in-goal area. They're chasing this. It's beaten everybody.
And this here, there's the pass you see. But the kick then that we saw from Joe Mellor, that's the difference, that over the next few years, I'm not saying he's perfect here tonight, he's got a lot of learning to do, but that kick really at a higher level, he has to keep that on the field.
Castleford will remember their last visit to this stadium, Easter Monday 2011, to face St Helens. They led 20 points to 16 in the last minute. And then Francis Melly's try, 7 seconds from time, it denied them. And Jamie Foster's touchline conversion pinched the points for St Helens. And James Clare was on the end of a forward pass. Yeah. Mellor saw to it he wasn't going any further. It's that one.
Yeah, tried to flick it on, didn't he, Griffin? But I'm afraid it just started to drift forward. Not much in it. He was in a good position, was Steve Ganson.
Quarter of the match remaining, and don't forget, England Exiles Wednesday night, another live game for you here on Sky Sports. Sky Sports 2 HD at 7:30. We'll see some new faces pulling on the England jerseys this week, and then on Friday we go to Headingley to see Leeds against Hull FC. What a match that is now after the weekend results. And how about this in 7 days' time? Warrington and Catalan, second playing third. It's in stunning 3D, and it's in HD on Sky Sports 1.
Good hit by Craig Huby there. He's worked hard as the second row of Frank Winterstein as well. They're using Winterstein down the middle now. He has a tendency to drift out to the left.
Cahill takes it forward again for Widnes, to be fair to him, as he has done for much of this year.
He's a hard worker, isn't he?
Dave Allen, that ball bounced off him, went forward, then Cross picked it up.
Well, at 28-10, I think that Dennis Betts perhaps will be thinking that could have been a penalty, couldn't it, for offside?
Should that have been a penalty?
He looked as though it was offside. Either way, they've got the possession. The point I'm making is that Dennis Betts will not be happy unless Widnes come up with a really good, well-worked try. Not just to shuffle over and try to increase it, but, you know, a set pattern move that they've worked at for several weeks. And when it comes off on the training patch and when it comes out on the main field, then he'll be happy.
You know, Steve, I think if you're coaching the team that's bottom of the table and you come away on a wet night with 2 points against a team that are desperate for 2 points, I think you'd be a happy coach. I really do. It'll put London on the bottom of the table and just take that little bit of pressure off Dennis and his squad. How he gets the win, I'm not sure how worried he's going to be about that. He's seen some horror performances this year, and this might turn the tide for them.
Yes, neutrals, we settle for 36-30, wouldn't we? I think. Yep. A few more points.
Yep. I enjoy it. Good skill factor, that's what we need. But in these conditions, difficult to ask. Neat little chip over the top there
That
by...
flew off the surface to Patrick Arvan.
Danny Orr.
He's lost that. Did he lose that? I'm sure it bobbled out. Maybe he didn't.
And again, we see Widnes that quite happy, you know, when they get the possession from the kick. You see how they want to get on with the game. It's a good tactic by Dennis Betts. You know, get them. They've caught Castleford a few occasions, not getting back to 10.
Eamon O'Carroll back out there. Plays the ball quickly. Here goes McShane. Winterstein again. Great ball round the corner. Arvan down the line.
Got to get the kick in now. Who's there?
Well, Mellor is. There's the kick looking for the men out wide, but only falls into Tigers territory, and Josh Griffin was nearly away. Cameron Phelps did well. He collared him, brought him down. Here goes Youngquest again.
It's another example that the accuracy of that kick just has a massive bearing on what happens and who wins a game. You know, you almost, I would say, when you're buying players and recruiting them, need to look at who can kick the ball most dangerously on the last player, because it's so big in this sport now. Absolutely vital to success.
Well, it's obvious, wasn't it? Dennis Betts not happy with that, the final execution of the kick.
Dennis Betts, such a great player in his time, former man of steel. He will be frustrated, but he knows it's not an overnight job, this. It'll take a few years, and they want to get better this year, but they want to get even better next year, and in the third year be sort of mid-table and see how they go. And then the next round of licenses, that should take care of itself.
Yeah, they've made it quite clear that not many top professionals really want to say, well, I want to come to Widnes. It's always going to be difficult, and until they start getting the confidence. They've already done that with the fact that they've signed Brown for next season. That's a high swinging arm. That'll be a penalty. And he's not happy, is it?
No, it's just round the neck from Griffin, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Widnes will take the penalty, pump the ball further downfield. Of course, Dennis Betts and Ian Millward, they worked together, didn't they, fleetingly at Wigan in 2005. They'll be fierce rivals for the 2 points on offer tonight, which at the moment going Widnes' way.
Another couple of drives, then let's see a move. Maybe the switch back on the blind side. They're setting it up for something.
Eamon O'Carroll takes it to the 30-metre line. Good signing for Widnes, him. Now it's Cahill.
This is where it should be executed.
I can't believe you're not calling for a drop goal at 28-10, Steve-O.
Not yet.
It wouldn't be a ridiculous shout, because it would put them another score away from the Tigers, but they're not interested in that. They're going for broke with Winterstein. He gets the ball away to Christine. Here's the last tackle.
Good tackle by Thompson.
Nice dab to the in goal. I think he's missed it. I think Eamon O'Carroll has missed that on his debut. Well, his body language says he got to it, but from up here it didn't look like it.
He didn't go for a second dive, did he?
He knew exactly where it was going, though. He knew that
he might have got this.
That's why he didn't go for a second dive. He's grounded it first time.
Paul McShane had a fine game. He's onside. He knew where it was going.
I know it's all about the grounding now.
That's a try.
Yeah, fingertip control.
You think so?
Yes, that'll do, mate.
That's a try.
Yeah. Seen them given more dubious than that, haven't we? What a night then for Eamon O'Carroll. He arrived here back end of last week. He trained twice. They don't train at the Widnes pre-match day. Yesterday they have the day off. And he's come here tonight and he's got a try in his debut. Well, he's an instant hero to the Widnes supporters, Eamon O'Carroll. As I said earlier, the 32nd player to be used this year by Widnes. Hull last week, a 2.5-year deal. He was substitute for Hull in the win here against Castleford in March. He might be substitute the try scorer in a win here in July.
It was poor positional sense in defence by Castleford, but take nothing away from this man, Paul McShane. He has run the show. He's enjoyed every minute since they brought him on from the bench. And O'Carroll, he knew where it was going. I'm not so sure the Castleford Tigers defenders knew.
And Arvan lethargically really just swung the boot. 34-10. The Castleford fans keeping their spirits up. It's warm, but it's a bit damp. Actually, behind the stand that they're in, it looks like the end of the world has arrived.
Good combination. Maybe that will bring a smile to Dennis Betts. As I said, he will be looking for an execution of a set pattern move, and that was it.
Well, Ryan McGoldrick was gone to full back, and he was just caught a little too close to the ruck to be able to defend that kick. Well, it was inch perfect, the kick, and it's never going to be any good unless you've got somebody chasing it. This man carrying the ball here now, he was good enough to get his first try for his club.
Prior to the match, Dennis Betts saying this was as good a substitutes bench as he's had to work with all year, and proof of that, 3 try scorers from the bench: Davis, McShane and O'Carroll. Only John Kite yet to score. There he is, instant success. Paul McShane. Actually, when you look at this Widnes team, the likes of Marsh, the likes of Mellor, the likes of McShane, I know that Steve O'Connor, Dennis Betts and company, they're always looking to try and maintain what they have. Do you think they have to try and get those 3 at least on long-term deals if they can, if it's at all possible, if they can persuade Wigan and Leeds?
I would agree, yeah, that's probably the case. You know, the club for me that Widnes need to try to emulate are Huddersfield. It took them, though, about 10 years to become a competitive force. If Widnes can do it in less than 10 years, Eddie, then I think they've done a remarkable job. Even if they did it in 5, but it is hard to get the right players. You know, Castleford probably going from bad to worse here. Nick Youngquist trying a little too hard.
Yeah, I think fatigue is setting in from both sides. It's very wet conditions.
And Youngquist has been limping almost from about the 5th or 6th minute of this match, and he's been forced out here on the wing. He's going through the pain barrier for his club. There is Steve O'Connor. He knows it's a long road, but he's getting there gradually.
It's so difficult, Eddie.
There are people, though, say that they shouldn't be in Super League.
Oh, you'll always get people like that.
You better not be looking at me. I've got no problem with the club, but it's the team I have question marks against.
Is that
What a
Jordan
hit.
Thompson?
It was Jordan Thompson. Came like a missile. Bang! Oh, Hanbury felt that.
He did. It was very early in the tackle count too.
It's great to see players still trying like that when the scoreboard's so one-sided against them.
Good run from Milner too. Here's Danny Orr, now McGoldrick. Back he comes to Ferris.
Oh, there's a problem there. If they see who it is, it's
Mellor, I think. Meanwhile, Castleford attacking on the far side. That's forward, and the referee spotted it. Rhys Williams goes over and touches down, but the pass drifted forward.
He went for the bounce pass. Wasn't overly confident of being able to do it. I think that's okay. I think that's okay, and that's play on.
well, he got the bounce. I'll put it that way, but it was going forward.
You're going to refer to the momentum rule, Brian?
No, not at all. You just got to look at what direction it's going when it comes out of his hands.
Yeah, forward.
Well, it's the call by the looks of things from the touch judge, that near far side. Willie Isa then for the Vikings. They have 10 minutes remaining. 34-10. You would think that the win is assured. Yeah.
Talking of momentum, Eddie, we haven't heard that for quite some time, have we?
No. The manner of the win, Eddie, is going to be what we talk about at the end of this game. It's about 2 points. I know it's hugely important. They can finish strongly down the last 10 minutes. Either side, actually, they might be able to come away with some sort of pride. Castleford, I'm referring to there.
Goes wide to Arvan. They're all on their feet watching here as Winterstein is caught. That's a tremendous tackle from Danny Orr. But has he only delayed the inevitable? The ball pops back. Here's O'Carroll, brings it into the middle to Mellor. That's a knock on by Josh Griffin.
I tell you what, he saved a try though. Josh Griffin. Talk about 2-on-1. It was about 3-on-1 on that occasion. It was good work, wasn't it? Arvan made the break. back, and then look at the tackle by Daniel. Superb by Orr. And then Griffin just got into it.
He's not as furious as he might be because he knows that Widnes are going to get head and feet at this scrum.
Yeah, if he looks at the 6 tries that Widnes have scored, they've all been, Eddie, when they've played the ball in this area, that final 10 metres of land close to Castleford's line. They've got 6 players, I would say, within that strip. Can they come up with the 7th try?
Well, they will try with Hanbury and now with Clark. He takes the return from John Clark, just has a look what's ahead of him, runs laterally, then flicks it back to Patrick Arvan. They will score. He's thrilled now. And Patrick Arvan has had such a good night with the boot. The closed season signing from the beleaguered Bradford Bulls. He didn't play at Castleford in May. That was his last absence. He only kicked a couple of goals against Wigan last Monday. Here he's come up with a try, and he's come up with 5 goals.
Yeah, he's been pretty confident, hasn't he? And you can see there that Josh Griffin came out, prevented a try there on that right-hand side, but on the left-hand side, half-back, beautiful back on the inside. Good positioning by Arvan. Not the best game Arvan against Wigan last week, but you've got to give him credit. Gets himself into a good position. Excellent finish. Good inside pass.
And we are watching tonight by far, by a country mile, Widnes' best performance of the season. And poor old Castleford have picked the wrong night to come here. Last time they were here, they beat the Huddersfield Giants. That was a major scalp. They've beaten Wigan as well. But tonight they've only conceded 10 points. Their previous best was the 22 that they restricted Huddersfield to in their victories. And tremendous from Widnes' point of view. Some green shoots of a recovery maybe for Castleford. And you have to point to all the injuries and the suspension to Richard Owen and the suspension club level to Rangi Chase.
It's important, Eddie, that when you come into the top level, you realise it's going to be difficult. You have to pinpoint certain matches. I'm sure that Dennis Betts would have pinpointed this against the Tigers, especially with their off-field problems and injuries. But you've got to make your home side, your home ground, a bit of a fortress, and they've done that.
That's a tremendous kick from Rhys Hanbury. Well, when you're up, and when you're down, boy, you're at the other end of things.
Well, the Tigers know, Eddie. We've mentioned their injuries, we've mentioned the off-field problems, but the biggest problem they've had tonight is that they haven't had enough of the ball. Another error from them trying to defend the line. Gave Widnes this brilliant part of the field in which to attack. Some nice skipping across the field by Hanbury, flick back on the inside, and a good quality finish from Patrick Arvan. But you know, at this point in the match, Widnes have had 36 more play the balls than Castleford. That's a massive difference in possession, and it's one of the reasons why they got 30 more points.
Well, the Castleford supporters are conquering their way back to West Yorkshire. They're keeping their spirits up, and it's tough to do that when your team's on the end of a 30-point margin defeat. O'Carroll's been good on his debut.
They all have, Eddie. They've all played their part, completely outplayed their opposition.
McGoldrick collects it behind his own goal line for Castleford after the kick from McShane. McShane, the man who gets to him first. Down he goes, makes 10-12 metres good ground though.
They set out their stall early, didn't they? The home side Widnes. They've had problems with their defence throughout this season, but it's been very well drilled, and that's the sort of hit that has really brought a smile to the Widnes fans, and rightly so. It was a big hit by John Kite on that occasion.
Sometimes, Steve, it boils down to who wants it more, and you can tell that in body language sometimes. And I think early on in this game, we mentioned some of the forwards and some of the runs they had put in, and Patrick Arvan carrying the ball back. You could tell that they wanted this game a little bit more than Castleford did. Well, that's Castleford. You don't come to this wanting it more than your opposition. You get a result like this, 40 points to 10. And it's turning into a nasty night for them.
It is, and the 5th consecutive away defeat for the Castleford Tigers, and in those 5 defeats they have conceded now 250 points. So there are problems that need to be addressed. I'm sure Ian Millwood will be addressing them. Here's Danny Orr, puts the ball away to Ferris, and the ball finds its way out to the touchline somehow. There's a collision.
It hasn't been a good feature, has it, for Castleford tonight?
There's a collision as that ball went away. Patrick Arban picks himself up.
Their handling has been well below par. Though I suppose in many ways you've got to give a lot of credit to Widnes for applying that pressure. But I agree with Brian in regards to that right from the outset. The home side, they rolled up their sleeves, solid hard work in the forwards, make sure that they get over that advantage line, and it gives the likes of the 2 half-backs, Hambry, Mellor, and the introduction of Paul McShane was, well, that's been the winner as far as I'm concerned.
There he is in at dummy half, puts the ball away. Ferris just missed as Milner got round the legs. Now then, was the only substitute not to score. John Kite gets to his feet, plays it to McShane. Cahill gets them almost to halfway on tackle number 4. Hambry finds Clark, flings it out hurriedly. It's picked up by Christine, who gets away from one, sees a hole and goes for it.
Very adventurous, aren't they? You know, less than 3 minutes remaining, but they want another score.
Well, the tails are up, aren't they?
Yeah.
The confidence of this win is there for all to see. It's been a tough old day at the office for Castleford. They only won 3 of the last 10 of 2011, and they've only won 8 of the last 28 prior to tonight in Super League, then over the past 12 months.
Yeah, he looks a lot more happier now, doesn't he? Dennis Betts, he knows it's a vital 2 points on the league table.
Come on.
It's not often when you're struggling as a coach with a new side where you can sort of go home and look at the videotape, Eddie, and just say, yep, that's what we worked at, and it's come off. That's what we worked hard at, and that's good, hard, solid work.
Joining Jack, Dennis Betts. Of course, the appeal that's gathering pace for the son of Andy Johnson. And Castleford have surrendered the possession here. Can Widnes give their supporters one last try to cheer? Great run again from Cahill. Magnificent completion rate, isn't it, from Widnes? 82%.
In the weather that we've had as well.
Absolutely. Well, they're not going to complete that one. It's a knock on by Widnes. It'll be scrum down, head and feet to the Castleford Tigers. And well, credit the Tigers actually. As you watch this, they hurriedly form the scrum. I was going to say they won't be in any hurry at all to force the referee to stop the clock, but he has, with 1 minute and 3 seconds remaining.
Well, they're in a tough position at the moment, Eddie, the Castleford Tigers. They need to sort out the problem with Rangi Chase. They're building for next year, where they've got some tough games, some really difficult fixtures left so far this season. And now the fight becomes, we don't have promotion and relegation, but we have a fight to avoid the wooden spoon, and there's probably about 4 clubs involved in that.
This is Jake Emmett. That was a bit of a swinging arm by Steve Pickersgill. And I think the touch judges spotted that as well, and the referee has blown the whistle. It's been a competitive battle between 2 of the bottom 3 this. Ooh, that's a bit high from Steve. UB has not found touch with that penalty. What he's found is Rhys Hanbury's arms, and Widnes now will play out the remaining 20 seconds. Well, for those who think there's nothing to fight for in these days of no promotion and relegation, I hope they've watched this tonight and thought on, because these 2 sides They predicted, or we predicted, a tough battle for the points, and the Super League Monday match has given us good entertainment again, and a valuable and priceless win for the Widnes Vikings by 40 points to 10 that lifts Steve O'Connor's team off the foot of the table.
Well, that's it. He'll be delighted. We spoke to him, Eddie, before the game, and he talked about good days and bad days, and he wanted to have more good days at home in front of the fans and help try and build the Vikings brand. Well, they've done it now against Huddersfield, they've done it against Wigan, they've done it against London. Castleford are the next scalp for them.
4 wins then for Widnes. They're off the foot of the table. Let's join John Wells for his analysis of this second half.
Thanks, Eddie. Well, Widnes start in the second as they finish